But first, a community in Buffalo, New York is grieving the loss of 10 people who were killed in a racially motivated attack over the weekend. 13 people were shot, 11 of them were Black. They range in age from 20 to 86 years old. Police say the suspect, an 18-year-old white man, drove more than 3 hours to kill as many Black people as possible. Authorities tell CBS News the shooter had plans to continue his deadly rampage elsewhere had he not been arrested. Jericka Duncan has the latest on the investigation from Buffalo.
I kept hearing them closer and closer.
Tops cashier Kashanti Atkinson says she was at work when the shooter opened fire. She ran to a back conference room with coworkers. They barricaded the door with a table. So you're in there praying that he doesn't come?
Yeah, and I was instructing all my coworkers to just please be quiet so he won't hear us.
Possible active shooter at the top. This might be an individual with body armor.
On Saturday afternoon, police say 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, dressed in military-style camouflage and armed with a semi-automatic rifle, shot 4 people in the parking lot. He then walked inside the supermarket where he encountered security guard Aaron Salter, a 55-year-old retired police lieutenant. Today, President Biden paid tribute to him.
He actually was able to shoot the assailant twice, but he had on a bulletproof vest, and he lost his life in the process.
The gunman shot a total of 13 people, killing 10. Investigators say he had plans to go to another store after the rampage, but he was arrested. Police also say he drove more than 200 miles from his home in Conklin, New York, to kill as many Black people as he could. Gendron pleaded not guilty at his arraignment on Saturday to a charge of first-degree murder. A CBS News source says the shooter wrote a lengthy online post where he described himself as a white supremacist. He even scouted out the supermarket in early March and visited the day before the shooting.
Seeing the video in my head, picturing her dropping the ground over and over.
Tremaine Bryce says he saw the video of his 32-year-old girlfriend, Roberta Drury, gunned down.
I'm hurt. I don't want to see my baby no more. I'm hurt.
Drury was the youngest of the 10 people killed. The oldest was 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield.
We're mad.
An emotional Garnell Whitfield Jr. says his mom stopped to buy groceries after visiting his father at a nearby nursing home.
What I love most about my mom is how she loved us, how she loved our family unconditionally.
20-year-old Tops employee Zaire Goodman suffered a gunshot wound to the neck. He did not want to appear on camera, but did want to share his story.
What's the emotion that you're feeling right now?
Discomfort, sadness, maybe a bit of regret.
Regret? Why?
I wonder why out of all the 3 people that were spared, I was one of them.
And Jericka Duncan joins me now. Jericka, you mentioned in your piece the shooter wrote an online post describing himself as a white supremacist. What more can you tell us?
Before I get started, Elaine, I'm so sorry. I'm having some IFB issues. That's why I had my hand like this. But in reference to your first question, we know that in those posts, he talks about having a fear that the white race is being eliminated by other marginalized communities, Black people, Jewish people. And he felt like, after reading, he said, starting back in 2020, about other white supremacists who would go out and attack people because of the color of their skin, that he needed to do something as a result. So that's what we know. I mean, there are many hundreds of pages to read through with this online post to get a better understanding of what was going through the mind of this man. As far as the people here in the community and what they're doing, they're offering counseling, they are giving away food. The community is coming together, and you know, earlier I spoke to the mayor, and he told me that we also need to remember that there are a number of children in this community who have been impacted by the trauma. I just read a story about an 8-year-old girl who apparently hid inside one of the ice boxes her dad had her hide, and those stories are starting to really come out with the people who survived this horrific event here at this Tops behind me. But right now it's about healing. It's still processing what happened, and of course throughout the day talking to people who've lost loved ones, but know that this community will never be the same, but also have a history of coming together and knowing that they will get through this. And Elaine, I apologize if you're saying anything after that, but I think we just lost you.
Okay. All right. Jericka Duncan, tremendous reporting from Buffalo, New York. Jericka, thank you.